This is the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, keeping you informed about the happenings in Annapolis and the area. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and of course, local weather. The Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, September 25th, 2019. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Hey, first things first, I forgot it was Tuesday yesterday. I forgot Ticket Tuesday, but I have a pair of tickets that I'm going to give away to the 10th person that emails me saying I would like to see Bob Mould. Yes, it is Bob Mould, the founder of Husker Du, playing at the Rams Head this Friday, September 27th. The show is at 8 p.m. The doors are at 7 p.m. And as always, we have fantastic seats. I do have a pair of tickets for the 10th person that sends me an email. Just very simple. Say, I'd like to go see Bob Mould. The email address is info@eyeonannapolis.net. So let's get right into the news. The Capital Gazette has a follow-up to that shooting in Pasadena last week, and it's a little bit bizarre. The police have been holding the homeowner, Richard Corwick, for illegally possessing firearms because he had a prior felony conviction. He claims that he felt threatened when Jeffrey Thomas Dickinson had approached his house and he did shoot him in the front yard. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Now it's come to light that Corwick had actually referred Dickinson to a friend of his for a job. And Corwick's friend then fired Dickinson, and Dickinson turned around and threatened both of them. Reportedly, Dickinson had threatened to hurt Corwick and also to burn his house down. At a recent bail review, Judge Shyam Spencer said that he still should be held without bond until October 16th when another hearing is scheduled. Corwick does face 29 criminal charges for possession of the firearms. That's one charge for each of the weapons that they brought out of his house. And interestingly enough, at his initial bail review, Judge Laura Robinson called Corwick a, quote, extreme risk to public safety and ordered him to be held without bond. So I think something strange is going on here. Something a little bit more than just self-defense. Speaking of strange things, well, not really strange, but unusual in the case of the Capital Gazette shooting in Jared Ramos, Circuit Court Judge Laura Ripken has called 300 potential jurors into court on Friday. 300 is a huge number, and what they are going to be doing is they're going to divide them up into two groups, 150 in the morning and 150 in the afternoon, and they're going to be presented with a questionnaire that has been developed by the prosecutors, the defense, and finalized by Judge Ripken. This is to ultimately to whittle that pool down to maybe 100 qualified jurors when the attorneys for both sides can interview them individually, ultimately whittling it down to 12 jury members as well as alternates. Now, that whittling down is scheduled to begin on October 30th, so this is an unprecedented sort of pre-whittling down, if you will. And I'm still not sure why they've not changed the venue on this. It doesn't seem that there would be anybody here in Anne Arundel County that wouldn't know about the tragedy that befell the Capital Gazette on June 28th of 2018. Hey, there's some money floating around Anne Arundel County, and we can thank Live Casino and Hotel for it. Well, we can thank the laws that were enacted that made them give us the money, but they are awarding $18.8 million in local impact grants. I looked through the list, and some of the grants that stand out for me are pretty nice. Anne Arundel County Fire Department, $5.2 million. The Police Department, $3.4 million. The Community College, $1.7 million. Rec and Park, $700,000. The library system, $550,000. Public Works, $500,000. Sarah's House, $500,000. Meade High School Cyber Initiative, $381,000. Great job there. The Meade High Cluster Council of PTAs, $300,000. YWCA for Domestic Violence, $250,000. The Boys and Girls Clubs of Annapolis and Anne Arundel County, $45,000. The Annapolis Maritime Museum, $22,300. CRAB, or the Chesapeake Regional Accessible Boating, $7,100. And $16,000 to STARE, which is a literacy program here in Annapolis. So some of that gambling money is going to good use in our local community, and we do thank Live Casino and Hotel for doing that. I know there's a lot of brouhaha about the short-term rental bill here in Annapolis, which is sort of working its way through the city council. And just to give everybody that's interested in that an idea, Prince George's County has finally enacted their own regulations, and they go into effect on October 1st. And just what are the rules? There's a 4-page fact, but some of the ones that stood out for me is that you need to pay a $150 fee just to apply, and then it's $150 per year license to rent your home out. You have to be a homeowner. You can't be a renter. You cannot rent your home if you own a pit bull. As a matter of fact, they have legislation in Prince George's County which says that you are not allowed to own a pit bull unless you've owned it prior to November 1st of 1996. Short-term rentals are required to be their permanent residents. They have to notify their neighbors both on either side of the house as well as in the back and directly across the street. There is restrictions on renting it. You cannot rent the short-term rental for more than 30 consecutive days. It cannot be rented more than 90 days per year if the rental is unoccupied by the owner. Can't rent it more than 180 days if the unit is occupied by the owner. If you have ever had any kind of a civil citation for the property, trash, zoning, health, etc., you will not be able to apply. The property needs to be clean of all violations. Not just cleared up, must have not had any violations under that ownership. You have to provide 1 parking space for every 3 overnight guests. You are limited to a maximum of 8 renters at any one time and a maximum of 3 guests per bedroom. Prince George's County is making each short-term rental owner attend a training course in human trafficking, and that consists of watching a video and answering a series of questions. The house is subject to inspection, but that will only be when needed. There is no standard inspection, and the homes must have working fire extinguishers, working smoke detectors, and carbon monoxide detectors. They also have to have an exit plan posted near the doorway of every sleeping room that clearly shows the safest path out of the house. And all exits must be clearly marked. Seems like a pretty stringent code to me. We'll see what Annapolis comes up with on their own. Hey, as we wind down baseball season, got some sad numbers out of Oriole Park at Camden Yards, and the team's attendance in 2019 hit an all-time low with an average of 16,347 spectators per home game here in Baltimore. That's only 36% of the capacity of the stadium, and to put that in perspective, they probably could have played in the Bay Sox Stadium and had a full house every single night. Last year, the Orioles finished dead last in Major League Baseball. This year, it looks like they may finish number 2. However, there are still a few more games to play. If the Orioles continue to lose and the Detroit Lions miraculously start to win, they could redeem that crown as being the worst team in baseball. As they say, there's always next year. All right, that does it for the top news today. Please make sure you're checking out eyeonannapolis.net throughout the day because we do update it throughout the day. You want to give us a click on that first link in our show notes, find out all the different ways that you can connect with us. And if you're someplace where you can give us a rating or a review, please do that as well. Now, just hang tight. We've got George Young with your local DMV weather forecast, and he's coming up in just 1 minute.
September 28th, the 2nd annual Twist and Stout Festival at Quiet Waters Park along the shores of the South River. Twist and Stout, a Maryland wine, craft beer, food, and arts festival presented by the Anne Arundel County Department of Recreation and Parks along with the Maryland Wineries Association. Sample dozens of craft beers and Maryland wines. There's music all day starring the Groove Spot Band, along with the Naptown Brass Band and Vertigo Red. Watch the Plein Air Painters and shop dozens of artisans, crafters, and food trucks. Tickets are on sale now at twistandstout.org. That's TWISTANDSTOUT.org. September 28th, Twist and Stout at Quiet Waters Park. Noon till 6. Tickets at twistandstout.org. Going out? You need the most up-to-date local weather. Here's George Young from DMV Weather in Annapolis with today's forecast.
Hey everyone, this is George with DMV Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Wednesday, September 25th. Yesterday was a nice improvement over the previous few days, and today will essentially be a carbon copy with sun-filled skies and highs in the 78 to 84 degree range. Then temps will warm back up a bit into the 80s for the next several days as sunshine continues to fill the skies above all of Anne Arundel County with very little chance of rain through at least Friday, if not the entire weekend. So start making those plans now to get out and about for what should be yet another nice weekend on the whole across the region. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DMV Weather. Make it a great day out there, and be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching for DCMDVA Weather in the Apple or Google App Stores, and also follow us on Facebook and Twitter and on our website at dmvweather.com so you can always stay weather informed.
When a ring from the United States Naval Academy comes into Zachary's for a center stone, it always makes us wonder, where's this one going? Where's this one been? A nuclear sub in the North Atlantic, a carrier deck in the South Pacific, the moon? 52 astronauts are Academy graduates, from Iwo Jima to Okinawa. Corregidor to the Coral Sea, Midway to the Persian Gulf, Congress to the White House. These rings go where America goes. 73 that went to war were awarded the Medal of Honor. But wherever they go, wherever they may serve, our admiration goes with them.
Zachary's. Online at zacharysjewelers.com. More than a jewelry store, a jeweler.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis. And also tell them about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. This podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m., keeping you informed with the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. And take a moment to listen to our other podcast, The Maryland Crabs, released every Thursday at noon.